Hey everyone, welcome to The Edge of It All. I'm your host, Trey Edge, and I look forward to going on this journey with you. Each episode, I'll talk to guests of all walks of life, and I'll ask them the behind-the-scenes truths we all want to know. I'll reach out to newsmakers, celebrities, athletes, and ordinary individuals who were there during some of the biggest events of our time. Together, we will hear the story behind the story. So let's get started. This is The Edge of It All. Welcome, everyone, again to the newest episode of The Edge of It All. I'm your host, Trey Edge. Thanks, everybody, for being with us. Appreciate everybody taking the time to join us for another exciting episode. And we have a fantastic guest for you today, a legendary actor that the Vanity Fair magazine once called hardest working man in Hollywood. And that's not an easy thing to get to. We will get to him in just a minute. Making this podcast possible, though, are our sponsors, the first of which is North Georgia Top 10. If you're looking for a new vacation spot to go to, North Georgia is the place you need to go. You can go hiking, visit wineries, drive the Blue Ridge Parkway, whatever it is you want to do, North Georgia is the spot. They have something for everyone, whether it's a family getaway or a romantic getaway. Go visit their Instagram page at NorthGA_top10. That's NorthGA_top10. Also want to thank the Line Movers Network. For all your sports wagering and daily fantasy sports needs, the Line Movers Network is where you need to go for all of that information. They have a great Discord community and provide hot off the press sports information. Whatever sports you want to look into, Line Movers Network has something for you. On Twitter, you can find them at @the_LM Network. Again, on Twitter, at @the_LM Network, or at their website, linemovers.net. Again, the Line Movers Network and North Georgia Top 10. Thanks for sponsoring and making this podcast possible. It is my pleasure to welcome to the Edge of It All podcast a man who has amassed over 700 acting credits. That's right. I said over 700 acting credits in his incredible career, including blockbuster films, animated films, independent films, TV series, short films, you name it. Even music videos. We could even go there. It is our pleasure to welcome Eric Roberts to the show. Eric, thanks for being with us and for taking the time.
Thanks for having me. What a nice intro. And also, music videos are what gave me a young audience. And I didn't even realize it up till I got it. And I'm in stores, these 9-year-old kids come up and say, "Hi, Mom, it's him." And it freaks me out. It's very funny.
Well, I want to ask you that then. Since we went there, let me ask you real quick on that note, because I looked and I know people who are big fans of yours, and I'm doing my research and I stumble upon those two videos, The Killers, Mr. Brightside, and I'm just mentioning two of them, and then Mariah Carey, I think it was We Belong Together. But Mariah Carey jilted you at the altar.
It happens.
Not the ending you wanted.
Happens to the best of us. When they first offered me a music video, it was The Killers, and I said no, just out of hand. And then I told my kids, I said I turned on this Killers video today. What? You can't do that. It's The Killers. Blah blah blah. Call them back. and they got mad at me. So I did. I called them back and I said my kids said I made a terrible mistake. Would you have me be in your video still? And they said yes. We'd love to have you be in our video still. So I did it, and it went platinum. So then I got a bunch of offers for other videos, and then all the videos I did, 50 Cent, blah blah, a bunch of them. They all went number one. So I've done 8 or 10, and they've all been number one. They've all been platinum. And so Eric Roberts, actor, is video gold. Who knew?
There you go. If you want a number one hit or number one video, you know who to call.
Yeah.
Eric, take me back to the beginning. And you know, we're going to get a little bit into, or a lot into, your acting career and the incredible things you've done. But what I wanted to ask you about was, you know, you're a Southern boy, right? Like from me, originally from Biloxi, Mississippi.
No, I'm not really from Biloxi. I was only there for a minute.
Oh, there you go. Only for a minute.
Yeah.
But you had ties to the South, and your parents, if I'm not mistaken, were kind of in the acting and playwriting world. And was it something where you were a childhood actor? We know about what came later, but in your childhood, was that something you did, into your teenage years?
Well, here's why I became a little boy actor. I had a terrible stutter as a kid. I could not talk to my friends without them laughing at me. So
Wow.
it became a real thing for me. I didn't talk to people. But I found out when I memorized things, I could talk without stuttering. So it became a power of communication. And so it became a real freedom for me. So
That is incredible.
yeah, so that's how it started. But then I got good at it. Then I got very good at it. Then I realized, you know what? I'm going to do this. And
Huh.
I got lucky because that's what it is. You have to be at the right place at the right time with the right look and the right talent, and you have to be interested. And all those things have to all happen at the same time. And when they do, you become a movie star. Who knew?
Yeah. Well, you get to 1978, right? The King of the Gypsies. You received a Golden Globe Award or nomination for that film. But what struck me,
that was the last year they had the category of Best Newcomer, and I was nominated as Best Newcomer. But Brad Davis won for that drug movie. What was that called? Midnight Express. Is that what it's
okay.
called? Anyway,
What I wonder, well, your loss became everyone else's gain because the stretch of what you would kind of become known for, which is this incredible ability to just keep churning out quality work. When I went back and looked at it, we've referenced that film in 78, but then you made one in 80, 81, 83, another Golden Globe nomination for, I believe it was Star 80. The Pope of Greenwich Village in 84, an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor in Runaway Train in 85. That's quite a stretch there when you're a young man. What fueled that endless work ethic for you to just keep going, not take a big break, and just keep on? Where did that fuel come from?
well, here's what happened when I got my first movie, King of the Gypsies. And then everybody offered me 3-picture deals and all this, Paramount and Dino. Everybody's offered me a bunch of stuff. And my manager at the time said, we're going to turn it all down. We're going to make them really want you because you're not going to do anything except the stuff you really want to do. So I would make like 1, maybe 2 movies a year tops.
Mm-hmm.
And then and I was hungry though. I wanted to work. I'm a working actor type. I want to work, and I love what I do. I love my vocation, so I want to do it every day. But I was not being allowed to do that because of the business end of things. But then,
Sure.
So then years pass, and they take film away, and they give us digital. So everybody with a camera becomes their own studio, and they started calling direct. So I get like 30 offers for the past 15 years. I've gotten like 30 offers every single day of my life from all over the world. And so I have these 2 kids who read all the scripts. They write me synopsises, and I have a big pile of to be read, to be avoided. But they're both on my desk, and they're big piles, and I read all the synopsises, and if I like the synopsis, I'll read the script. And if I like the script, I tell my wife, book it. And she does the schedule, and it's insane because everybody always wants the same day and the same hour. So we have to work it out for everybody, and it's a big pain in the foot, but we make it work for everybody. And I've seen the world several times for free, and I love my job, and it's just fun, dude. I have a great time, and I do everything from like in Dark Knight to a student film at a film school that some like kid's a fan or his mom's a fan, and he wants me to be in his movie, and so I'll go do it just because I would never be offered the array of roles I'm offered if I didn't do this. And I get to play everything. I get to have so much fun. And,
well, it's interesting. It's interesting you say that because I talked to some friends about talking to you. And I have a friend named Jessica who is, an avid fan of yours. And she threw out a movie called It's My Party. And then another guy threw out a movie called Rude Awakening. And what I wanted to ask you about that is that so cool to you that the roles can be so varied, that a fan can find something in so many different ways to be a fan of yours? Because they reference two very different kinds role that you had to play.
One is a true story that's a docudrama, and one is an insane pot smoking comedy. So they're very different. No, I'm just lucky, man. I get to do this stuff, and they get to offer me this stuff, and I'm in a position where I can say yes or no, and
Sure.
I am the happiest cowboy I know, and that's really a fact. It's not just public talk. I am so lucky and so satisfied and so happy, and on top of all this, I have a 30-year marriage. So it's like it all just works.
That helps.
Who knew?
How has acting world different now? Is it harder to get into? And has social media affected the world? How has social media affected the world of acting?
It's very, very different. And, our industry will always be the most personal industry in the world. Like there was a very famous stand-up comic who graduated into sitcoms and got very rich. He's worth close to $500 million now. Anyway, back before he was famous, he did an audition for a pilot. There was a comedy, and the executives loved him. Oh, he's good. And then as he's walking out, one of the assistants to one of the executives said, "He's got a flat ass." And it was just a personal comment, and they all took note that he did. He had a flat ass. He lost the job.
Now, you're kidding.
Yeah, and now we can't all say because it's based on that comment, but everything else was positive up until that comment.
Sure.
So you never know. Now, it might have had nothing at all to ever do with that comment, but it might have. We don't know. But it's such a personal industry, and it's so what you look like, how you sound, what you're wearing, what you're driving. It's so judgmental that you have to be on top of it, and you can't stop smiling. And it's just how it goes.
Your family could be considered one of the first families of acting. You've got sisters.
Thank you so much.
Seriously, you've got sisters, Julie and Lisa, who are actors, your daughter, Emma. But it doesn't end there. Needless to say, we're talking to you. So your incredible success that started it all. It doesn't end there. Your family is amazing in that the talents you all have. We referenced acting. But your wife, I believe, Eliza, was from an acting family, but you also have stepchildren. I believe Keaton is an amazing musician. Morgan, who's a pastry chef and has her own line. I just want to open that up to you for a minute and let you expound on what is just an incredible nucleus of people around you that you get to call family and amazing things they're doing.
What is my daughter's last film? What's it called? Yes, I Do. Yes, I Can. What's that movie called? Maybe I Do.
Yep.
So that movie, I was brought to tears by the fact that her performance was impeccable. It was perfect. She was completely that character to the bone. And I was so proud, I cried. Oh God, she's incredible in this movie. I have never been more proud of any of my relatives, and that includes, Keaton and Morgan, and my wife. I have never been more proud than when I saw this movie, Maybe I Do. Oh my God, she's remarkable in it. So that is one of the greatest lifts a person, a father, a man can have. And so that's been what's been like waking me up this whole week is that. What was the question? I'm sorry.
Well, no, it's fine. I was just talking about, just the incredible talent amongst your family. We mentioned the acting part, but then what goes on with a stepson who's a musician?
Yeah,
a stepdaughter who's into cooking. It's incredible.
He just got back from Keaton Simons, just got back from opening for Eric Clapton, and while he was doing that, Brett Young heard him, so he's now playing with Brett Young, and Brett Young is actually playing some Keaton songs now. So I mean, he's really doing it. It's really wonderful, and of course, your Morgan has become famous in the pastry world with her pie bake shop situation, and of course she also caters movies. So everybody's doing really well. It's remarkable, and it's so surprising because you think in this industry of hope for, and it only works half the time that we'd have a couple of slide offs somewhere, but we don't. Everybody's doing really well. It's really fun to watch.
When someone comes up to you and just asks just the most random question and just says Eric Roberts, actor, movie, what's the first role in your head that you've played? And there's so many of them. I know it's hard to pick one.
Well, it's about a half a dozen parts are equally revered. There's Best of the Best. There's Runaway Train. There's A Pope of Greenwich Village. There's Dark Knight. Everybody talks about Dark Knight. There's Expendables. And there's a weird little movie called Love is a Gun that everybody likes, with me and my wife and Kelly Preston. And I play a very nice man who makes a very big mistake. And of course, with a girl, and of
course,
and it's just a charming little film. Anyway, those are the ones that everybody talks about me too in airports. And, hey, it's you, hey, but I hear about 20 or 30 films a lot, but those 6 are the ones that
are the ones.
Yeah.
How much fun was it working on The Righteous Gemstones?
That was my favorite job I ever had. And let me tell you that story. My wife says to me one day, "Oh, there's a role they're casting for this hit show called Righteous Gemstones," and she describes, the character. I said, "I've had that character in my back pocket. That's my grandfather and my cousin combined. I got to play that character. I got to do it. We got to audition." So we did all the props, all the costumes. We did, and she shot me doing it. We sent it in, and Danny cast me, and so, oh my God, I got this part I always wanted to play. So I got to go down there, and I got to play that part with those scripts, with those actors on that location. It was my favorite job I ever had in my career. It was
that's saying a lot.
I know, and
it's saying a lot.
I love John Goodman like I love my family, because all my big scenes, all my big dialogue was always with him, and he was just so good to me, and he's such a good actor, and he's such a good guy, and we had so much fun, and like Danny, it's an overused and abused word, but he's a genius, and he's just this neat, put together, really special, unique cat, and I have never liked a job more, and I've had a lot of jobs, and I loved a lot of them, but I've never loved a job more. I had the best time. In fact, I hoped so much when I had this monologue at a dinner scene where I said, I should open my own church, and I started talking about that kind of stuff, and it was really stupid, but I was thinking, hey, like maybe they're going to have me open my own church. Wow, how cool! But of course I didn't, and. But I was just so in love with the part and the possibilities of the part, and I was hoping he would take me all kinds of places. But it was just, one more time. Right. It was my favorite job I ever had.
How about a current project? What you're currently working on? What you want people to know?
Well, what's going to be better than talking to me about it is to go to imdb.com.
There you go.
I'm going to get sloppy, and I'll say the wrong director or the wrong writer for a project because I got so many projects going, and I'll mess it up. So, So go to imdb.com. That can tell you everything about me better than I can tell you about me.
All right. Let me ask you this question. Mm-hmm. And I know you're on a tight schedule, so I don't want to keep you too long, but I want to ask you this. Is there an acting story that people may not know about, something that happened to you that you never really talked about? I mean, the show's called The Edge of It All. We kind of go back to, getting stories behind the stories, or maybe even a question that people don't ask you that you wish they did, whether it's about being an actor or about a role you played, a movie you're in, anything like that. Kind of an untold part of the side of that business.
An untold story. I'm playing the young collector in A Streetcar Named Desire. He has one scene. It's a very short scene. It's about 2.5 pages long, so it's about 2.5 minutes long. And it was with an actress named Shirley Knight, who is playing Blanche in Streetcar. And it's a scene with her, and we have an exchange. And I talk like this. I'm collecting for the Evening Star. It's a local newspaper, blah, blah, blah. And I'm talking to her, and she doesn't have the money. And okay, I'll see you later, and I leave. Well, I got an ovation from the crowd. It was at the Princeton Theater. And I got an ovation from the crowd. I got a clapping ovation. And it brought me to tears. And I was backstage in the dark, so nobody saw me cry. But I was 19, and it was my first ovation I ever got. And it was a very small part. It was a very short scene, but they clapped for me for like 30 or 40 seconds, and it just bowled me over. And I never told that story, so it's yours. And
there you go. And that was at 19.
Yeah, I was 19 years old.
Amazing.
At the Princeton Theater with Shirley Knight. Bless her heart.
Incredible. Before we let you get out of there, what is downtime?
Downtime
I know you're
is with my horses, with my wife, with one of my grandchildren. That's pretty much what it is.
I know you're a huge supporter of animal rights. I think you even held a black belt in Taekwondo. Are you still active in that?
I'm in the dojo every day. I'm not working.
There you go.
Although I have 2 titanium hips, so I can't make contact anymore, or I'll mess up my hips. But I still work it out, and I still stretch, and I still pretend I'm a badass.
Well, everyone I know who sees you in those movies, when I ask them about you, that's the thing they always come back to, is he's a badass. And let me give you one thing we have in common, which is kind of crazy. You just walked right into it before I let you go. You said you had 2 titanium hips.
Yeah.
Well, my day job is, guess what? I've sold for 23 years medical devices, specifically total knee, total hip, and total shoulder.
Well,
so those procedures,
I should have got a discount, from you, before I paid for mine.
Yeah, the Trey discount wouldn't have gotten you very much, but maybe it could have helped a little bit. But I know the rehab well, so it's impressive that you're still doing it. Before we let you go, where do you want people to go and follow you? You mentioned imdb.com. Is there any social media you want people to follow you on?
I'm on all of it. Go to all of it. You'll find me. And my website is ericrobertsactor.com.
robertsactor.com. I know you're busy. I know you're going to work on another project right now. Can't thank you enough for coming on the edge of it all, spending some time with us. Hopefully we can have you back again and expand on some more of those stories and great roles. And really appreciate you being with us, Eric.
I will come back anytime you want me, pal.
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate it. That is Eric Roberts. Can't thank him enough.
Have a great day. Kisses to everybody. Mwah.
Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it. Best of luck. Can't wait to see your next project.
Bye-bye, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you. Want to thank Eric Roberts and want to thank our sponsors again for making this podcast possible. Again, they were North Georgia Top 10. Their Instagram page is North Georgia _Top 10. Also, the Line Movers Network, the _LM Network on Twitter, and the linemovers.net. That is their website. Appreciate our sponsors for making this podcast possible. You can follow the edge of it all across all social media, just like you heard Eric Roberts talk about. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. You can even go to the ubngo.com page and watch all of our episodes there. Download, subscribe, like our podcast wherever you get your favorite podcast. And don't forget, we will be back with another episode of The Edge of It All soon. Thanks again to the hardest working man in Hollywood, Mr. Eric Roberts, for coming on the show. Be on the lookout for the next episode of The Edge of It All, where you will get the story behind the story. And in each new episode, you will hear something you have never heard before. Thanks for listening, everybody.